Hello. Thank you for visiting the Other Woman and Man Stories channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And here we go. John and Mary met in high school. From the first glance, a spark ignited between them, and they started dating. But their relationship was turbulent and complicated. They would argue over trivial things like jealousy or taking offense, then make up and swear eternal love to each other. Their friends watched their love drama with interest, but eventually grew bored of it and stopped paying attention to the emotional couple. When senior year came, John and Mary enrolled in different colleges. They broke up, although the separation was difficult for them. In college, John dated other girls, but didn't have any serious relationships. Mary secretly followed his life on social media, becoming jealous of every new girlfriend. After college, they got a chance to meet again at a high school friends reunion party. The spark that once ignited between them flared up with new intensity. A year later, John and Mary got married. After the wedding, they moved into a spacious apartment gifted by John's parents, a great help for the young family, saving them from taking out a mortgage or paying rent. It seemed they had found their happiness and were living the dream that once shattered due to youthful stubbornness. In the evenings after work, Mary happily furnished their first nest, decorating and keeping things tidy. John devoted almost all his time to work and career. He actively climbed the career ladder and after several years was already earning enough to support the family. Soon their life was graced by a little daughter. When their daughter turned 3 years old, John suggested Mary quit her job and devote her time to caring for the family. His wife gladly agreed. Living in a spacious apartment without financial struggles, the spouses were perfectly happy. At first, both were satisfied. Mary had unlimited access to her husband's money, while John got everything: a cozy home, tasty meals, and a happy wife not worn out by work. This continued for another 3 years. When their daughter turned 6 and it was time to start school, everything changed. Despite the outwardly ideal picture, over the years Mary started feeling lonely and unwanted. All her attention was focused on caring for the home and daughter. She stopped feeling desirable as a woman. John was absorbed in work and career. At home, he either relaxed in front of the TV or discussed office matters on the phone. There was practically no romance or passion left in their relationship. Everything became mundane and routine. That's when Mary met him, her lover. Their encounter happened by chance. Mary was sitting in a cafe, drinking coffee while waiting for her daughter's classes to end. Alex sat next to her and they started talking. The man charmed her so much that she readily gave him her number for further contact. At first, they met at the cafe, spending hours in conversation. But one day, Alex invited Mary on a real date to a restaurant. She said she'd think about it. For days, she contemplated what excuse to give her husband, so he wouldn't suspect anything. Eventually, she staged a performance for him about getting a call from her girlfriend, who'd been dumped by her boyfriend and really needed Mary's support in this difficult time. John believed it. After the restaurant, Alex offered to drive his date around the night city. When they stopped by the embankment, Mary could no longer restrain herself. She kissed Alex, after which they became intimate right there in his car. And so Mary's double life began. She spent most of her time being a model wife and mother. But the small yet significant part of her life made her Alex's passionate lover. It seemed perfect to her. On one hand, she had a reliable, loving husband. On the other hand, she had a lover who gave her thrills and fulfilled her cravings for passion and romance she'd long been missing. She didn't yet know her rose-colored glasses would soon shatter into pieces. She noticed the delay not right away. One night after intimacy, her husband remarked that her breasts seemed bigger. At first, she brushed it off, saying he imagined it, but tossed and turned anxiously all night before running to the pharmacy in the morning for a pregnancy test. Of course, it showed 2 lines. Mary's heart sank and her stomach knotted with fear. She had no idea what to do now or whose child it actually was. By then, things with Alex had gone sour. He started frequently borrowing money from her, but delayed returning it. The last few times, she even had to pay for both of them at restaurants. She desperately wanted to believe John was the father of her unborn child. The woman deliberated long on her plan and decided to take the only right path, break up with her lover and tell her husband about the pregnancy. But she got an unpleasant surprise from Alex. As soon as he heard she wanted to split up and demanded he return all the money he borrowed, the man became enraged. "Oh, really?" he hissed. "Fine, we're over. But now, either you pay me monthly to stay silent, or your husband finds out everything about us." He waved his phone in her face. "I have plenty of dirt on you here, my dear." The woman was shocked, but had no choice except to agree to Alex's terms. She was afraid John would find out about her unfaithfulness. Her husband happily received the news of a second child. He'd long wanted another baby, but never confessed it to Mary, thinking it wasn't the right time. He was overjoyed that fate had arranged things this way. His wife pretended to share his joy. The remaining 6 months of pregnancy, she transferred money to Alex every month from her personal savings. Her financial cushion was disappearing at the speed of light, and Mary panicked about what she would do when the money ran out. John noticed his wife's anxiety, but blamed it on her condition. He tried to relieve any burden from Mary by taking on all family troubles and responsibilities himself. In late August, right before their elder daughter started 2nd grade, he drove his wife to the maternity ward. Just hours later, she sent him the joyful news: he was a father again. At that moment, John was at work and had to lock his office to cry tears of happiness in private. 2 days later, while John was in an important meeting, he got called to reception. Annoyed by the unexpected interruption, he went to the lobby and saw a stranger. "Can we talk in private?" asked Alex with a meaningful look at the security guard. John frowned, but nodded and led him to his office. As soon as the door closed behind them, Alex took out his phone and started showing intimate photos of Mary. John stared in shock at the naked images of his beloved wife. A lump rose in his throat while rage pulsed in his temples. "That's not all, buddy." Alex sneered and played a video of Mary posing seductively in lacy lingerie, slowly taking it off. John lunged from his seat and punched the offender in the jaw. Alex crashed into the cabinet, but immediately fought back. Furniture toppled over amidst ripping clothes and cracking blows. The office turned into a battlefield. The security guard, who burst in at the noise, struggled to separate the brawling men. Alex ran out, laughing and rubbing his bruised cheekbone. "I'll find you, I promise," John shouted at the retreating lover. John remained standing amidst the wrecked office, breathing heavily from the rage and anguish overwhelming him. From the maternity ward, Mary was met by a distressed husband. Now John doubted the baby was even his. He looked at the child and thought he saw Alex's features in him. By then, Mary already knew about Alex's betrayal. She was confused and didn't know how to interact with her husband anymore. Each harbored pain in their soul over what happened. Unable to endure the uncertainty, John got a DNA test done on the newborn as soon as Mary returned from the hospital. He honestly warned his wife that if the child wasn't his, he wouldn't raise it. The test results confirmed his worst fears. This wasn't his son. That was the last straw for John. Soon he filed for divorce, unable to forgive the betrayal of his beloved. Before that, John made good on his threat to Alex. Some unknown men viciously beat him in an alley at night. Alex spent a long time recovering in the hospital after the assault. After everything, Alex didn't try contacting Mary again, much to her relief. She often thought about how she could have gotten involved with such a despicable man. Over time and through the court, she got Alex to take a DNA test and pay child support. Now Mary had to start working and learn to live anew with her 2 kids in her parents' house. John didn't abandon his biological daughter. He often picked her up to spend time together. For now, he wasn't ready for new relationships after such a blow. He simply lived alone, enjoying the bachelor life. Perhaps in time, when the pain faded, he would try finding love again. And so one wrong decision by Mary destroyed a solid family. Perhaps, if she had firmly said no to Alex in that first meeting, none of this would have happened. But then again, something in her family life must have driven her to infidelity. Maybe she lacked her husband's attention or romance and passion in their relationship. Who knows? That's the story. Share your thoughts in the comments about this situation and the behavior of the spouses. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be sure to like this video. It will greatly help promote the channel. Take care and have a wonderful day.